Good morning. It's the morning boost once again.
Morning, morning, morning. Um, Mel, how you doing? Everything is great. This is Under the Tree, Mel and Tony.
Morning boost.
Yep, every tree morning. Mel, give me 1 second. Um, you take you take it on. I'll give me 1 second.
Okay,
I'll do some mechanical work. Mechanical work.
normally we start with what's in the news, but this morning we are going to get right
What in
into
the news? What in the
breakfast
news?
menu.
What in the news? We'll start with what in the news. Um, Sorry, but I'm anyhow. Morning. Mel, in the news recently, in the news we had talking about national insurance. And it caught my eye where you, let's say you have a 40-year, a 40, let's 55-year-old come to the Bahamas, immigration,
Mm-hmm.
come to Bahamas, get a work permit. He works for 5 years
Mm-hmm.
and he reached 60 and he stopped working. But watch this now. He continues to pay national insurance. And 65, he claims, or 60 when he finished, he claims, or and he continues to pay it until 62, 63, 60, whatever, and he leaves the country. Do you know he gets full benefits?
Okay.
That is why national insurance now saying they're broke. You gotta fix that. You gotta fix. You can't come in here halfway and think you collect. That don't make sense. And our policy makers need to fix those things.
Okay.
That's my
I
fight.
I agree with you that well, it takes us to the Bible where the parable is told of people being invited to work the fields. Those who worked 3 days, 5 days, and one day got the same pay.
No, we're not talking about pay. This is not pay. This is
It is remuneration.
no. It's what are you saying to me? What are you saying is that you could come in my country, pay 3 years a contribution, and get the rest of your life pension.
Because that's the policy. So, like you
No,
said, the policy needs to be revamped.
the policy needs to be wrapped. There's no reason and no way that should happen because what are you doing? You can be living in a different country, leave here at 60, work in a different country, you're back home, and you collecting pension at 65 in my country. That's
That's
double
it.
dipping.
I got
That's like that's like you paying insurance. Go pay insurance. We need to correct these
it.
things.
Okay. All right. So, moving into our breakfast sandwich section, nutrition, health, well being. Remember, we introduced the mind, body, spirit concept, and we have created a sandwich from that, and that's our template for promoting wellness in our viewership. And so this morning, since we're focusing on the male mindset, I thought that we should serve up some mental nourishment. And I have a question for our viewing audience, and that is how much thought do you give to your mental well being? Now, remember, mind, body, and spirit makes the sandwich. So, mind, body, spirit. When we nourish our mind, we also nourish our bodies as well as our spirit. When we are about to build a house, we pay attention to the details of what we want that house to look like, and we select the elements that we want in that house to make it look the way we want it to look. Well, it's the same thing with nourishing our minds. We create our reality. I know as Bahamians, we are spiritual in nature, religious by virtue of our declaration of being a Christian nation. So, my question to you is, do you leave your nourishment up to another individual when it comes to your mind? Nourishment is not only what we eat. Often that is where our minds go. But when we think of mental nourishment, we think of what we are feeding our minds. I liken each day to a buffet where we go and we choose what it is we want to partake in. So, we should do the same thing for our mental nourishment. What is it that I want to feel like? Because how you think is how you feel, how you think is how you relate. So, if you want a beautiful life, if you want a beautiful day, then you must enter that buffet room and begin to look around and see what's in there. What you choose is how you will feel, how you will relate. So, I'm going to give you this mental frame now. You enter the buffet, and as you know, when you go into a buffet, it's a widespread, multiple selections to choose from. Likewise, in our everyday life, we find a widespread of opportunities, either in the positive alley or aisle, like when you're shopping for groceries, you'll find positivity, you find negativity, you find peacefulness, you find confusion. As you navigate each day, you are in that buffet line. And guess what? You, the individual, have the right to choose whether you're going to choose peace, whether you're going to choose confusion, whether you're going to choose positivity, or whether you're going to choose negativity. Now, when we first enter this world as children, who makes the choices for us? Often it's our parents. So, a word to parents is, if you want your children to grow up with a positive mindset, just how you have in your mind that you want them to be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever when they grow up, you should also be saying, I want to create a peaceful environment for my children. I want them to choose to be polite, to be creative, to be positive. And so, therefore, you set the buffet for them. But as they grow older, as you have grown older, you choose from the buffet. And so, I am going to give you the option today for the men. I am going to say, walk through this day and create a manwich. Select from the things that you encounter which one's gonna make the most nutritious sandwich for you, that at the end of the day, when you lay your head on your bed, you say, damn, I had a good day. And for the women, I am gonna ask you to create a patty. You're in the buffet line, but all you want to do is create a perfect patty that at the end of the day, you can say the same thing. I have had a good day. Remember, we create our reality. You choose which day you're going to have, whether it's peaceful or confusing, disorderly, and the like, all the negative things that you could find along a particular aisleway. Yes, let's choose to nourish our mindsets by choosing our peace and avoiding the confusion, because it's everywhere, but peace is also everywhere. So focus on finding peace. Have a wonderful day.
Mel, you said a mouthful. You talk about peace. You talk about mindful. Um, you talk about woman make this patty, and I was thinking about eating at that time. You know, this breakfast in the morning. So the party I
Right.
was thinking, hot party. I was thinking
So
about.
you can literally
Mhm. Yeah,
choose
and so
how your
and
day
so
will go with
and
your
so
breakfast. Start
it
each day creating that sandwich for the men,
I
create your manwich for the women, create your patty. Yeah.
so our show is based on a relationship. That's what we and in relationships we we want to take on the whole relationship where
Mhm.
we want the reason we designed the show this way is because we want to tap into people mindset, people to build their health. So the relationship they have with each other, husband and wife, girlfriend and boyfriend, when you're not healthy, it's affect your relationship, and it
Yes, it
affect your relationship in a certain way that where you're not thinking right, and if you're not thinking right, it affects everything else. It goes down the line to the children. It goes down to your work environment. It goes to your environment.
Yep, your
And when
community,
you
your social
see,
networks.
yeah, yeah. When I was younger, I remember one time my mother mentioned something to me, and I never get it till I get older. And this is very important. What I can say. I hope people who listen at this show right now, this is important, and this goes for the mindset of the man. It's all tying together, and this is important. My mother used to say, make sure whatever you do, make sure your environment is key. Make, make sure your environment is the right environment that you choose to settle your mind. But I never thought about that. See, let me tell you what I thought about. I thought about like if I clean up my bedroom and clean up my house environment. That's what she's talking about, which is true. But that's what I thought she was beating me on. No, but what she meant when you find a woman, when you go to church, when you go anywhere, even if the guy shooting in the street, the environment you choose, you wouldn't get the gang and get shooting at you. So the whole environment, what she meant, choose your environment. And I didn't understand it. But now as I get older, I tell you what, old people tricky. They have they don't say much to you. They give you like we call a nugget or something. They like throw
Yep.
something at you. Okay.
Go the parable way.
And it's important to everybody when you wake up in the morning, if you well, I can say this to Christians or normal people. If you have something uplifting, something spiritual, first thing in the morning, so you come into that. And when you come into that, your environment, watching CNN, see, this is where I learned this is what I'm talking about. It's powerful to me. Is what I thought. She taught me. Watching CNN is a part of my environment because now with the TV on and they talking about all this killing and all this negative. See, a lot of us don't realize when we get up in the morning and the first thing you hear from the door, oh, why you leave it open? Why you park the car this way? Why you this way? And the CNN or whoever on TV talking about all this war and destruction and so your environment already done
Yeah.
messed up. And so
Penetrating the mind.
right. So all this negative has gone into your and so now what happened? The first watch what I'm where I'm going. This is a relationship show. So the first encounter you get up, your husband in the kitchen. The first encounter is not this morning, not now. The approach because you got all this negative thing
Build up.
already started
Build
you.
up. Yep.
So, So you might need more than talk to nobody right now. You're like,
Mhm.
let me go in the bathroom. Let me do this first, and then come out. Go ahead. Hmm.
You know what is interesting about that
Hmm.
is that the person is not even aware that it's having that effect on
There
them.
you go. That's where it's going next. Yeah, and that's it right there. They're not aware because, like I say, the environment they come out of was so hostile or so
Yeah.
negative, and you accept it. So now you carry that.
And then the
Mhm.
partner walks away thinking he is so miserable or she is so miserable,
Mhm.
and you could never do anything right. You can't get you. Do you realize the impact that that have on your psyche,
Mhm.
your body,
Mhm.
and also your spirit, you
And
know? So
and
when
you
you go out, you already tired and it's the beginning of the day. Where is this tiredness coming from? No mental
no,
rest,
you
no
carry it.
restoration, no rejuvenation, and it's the early part of a day.
And then if you talk about the environment, the other side of the environment, your room is so full of cologne, lotion on the dresser, so full of makeup on one corner, so full of bag one way, so full of shoes one way. You're walking on the shoe. The whole environment now. You wake up. The first thing
Chaotic.
you trip on your shoes you wear last night before you went to bed. Look at them. That's what you're trying to push out the way. So the the light from the outside is coming directly on your face. So you got to you
Create.
because you
Create.
got now close your eye and scrimp your eye and define what you want to get and you
Yeah.
got so the whole environment is now put you in this kind of cross a mindset. And so my mother used to say, this is what she used to say. That's why I leave, I get up first thing in the morning and I put music on. And I used to wonder why she put this gospel music on. And then I realized, because she wants her spirit, this is what she say, the mindset to be happy, happy to get up, happy that God made this.
Energized, encouraged.
Yes, happy that God made this day, and I could get up and I can live on, and I can do things I want to do. And the first thing she did, most you know, most they make up their bed. Old people, they can make up, they can make up their bed, and they can make up their bed with all these pillows and teddy bear, whatever they want. And it never dawned to me. These things never dawned to you. See, the other side of this is this: when you come home from a stressful day, you come to a bed in makeup.
Oh, damn.
But but if you come to a bed with his makeup, you so happy to get in your bed because it's so nice and see it's a mindset when you walk into your
You're creating your own peace. You're creating your haven. You're
mm-hmm,
creating something that makes you feel special. It actually brings relief,
uh-huh,
peace,
mm-hmm,
tranquility,
mm-hmm,
serenity, all those words that simply means peace of mind.
mm-hmm. And you want to, and that's why it's important for early in the morning your mind and for your environment and to uplift
Mhm.
your environment to uplift you when you get up you uplift yourself you get up you ain't feeling that pain because see all this comes into play all this when you get up and you hear this nice you don't have to be Christian music but I'm saying you
Yeah.
hear this nice loving music not this I gonna get you you get something that
Mhm. Yeah.
you get
All the unfinished business of the day before being brought forth.
and listen to these words and you know not knocking music, not knocking behavior music, not knocking nobody music. But there's some music's rough. But you could imagine waking up to a song, You Got All My Love. You could imagine, You Got All My Love. So it's just encouraging. And this is tied right into our topic. when a man environment is right, he then now wants to love more
Mm.
because it's a mindset that if I could think right, if I could come into an environment what is safe, what is loving, watch the word, what is clean, word clean is key.
Mm-hmm.
And his food is cooked. So we're talking about the mindset of a man. When you approach him now, you could get anything you want.
Yeah.
But a man and his mindset, if he comes into an environment where everything is chaos, one thing he wants to do, takes off his clothes, changes his clothes, and go to the bar.
Exit. Exit.
He- and today I'm not knocking. I don't want to be. And woman today, because we talking about man mindset, we ain't talking about woman. We talking about so woman of today has to understand that it is important to make sure your mind stays in the right focus.
Mm.
Because if you don't, if he's not in the right, see, because not because you're beautiful and he say he loves you, that's not good enough to keep his focus. He have to love you in all areas to stay focused. Because men get distracted very easy.
Mm.
A good basketball game, and they're on TV watching a good basketball game. They ain't checking for you. You, you could you get up and their focus is so they um what that word you use all the time, man's mind wonder or don't be, they don't have all these, what the
They
word
don't.
is called,
They're not able to multitask.
multitask. You like to use that word multitask,
They
okay?
don't like. They don't multitask. They're laser focused.
Laser focus, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
They only. They can't. What they say? They can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
yeah.
They
and
can
so
chew gum, and when it's time to walk, they got to stop the chewing and start walking.
mhm. and so to help women today,
Hmm.
to help
In
women today
understanding why the
understand
ready to move
mind,
on.
yeah, why his mind, yeah, why his mind is very important. Okay, his mind is very important to make sure he's developed his mind. You are the woman who has to also, or the wife, also has to make sure you put things in place so he can help you and you can help him keep his mind focused. And I will say this in close because our time is about gone. The 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 mindset of a man works well when he has a woman who understand his mindset.
So basically, what you're saying to the woman is take time to learn your
Mhm,
man,
mhm,
know what his likes and dislikes are,
mhm.
create the environment with the things that you know brings peace.
Most definitely
When a man's mind is at peace, he will make sure that his woman is also at peace.
at
That's what
peace.
I'm getting.
And very well said. He's the leader. Very
So,
well said.
as we wrap up, because we have a couple more minutes,
Okay.
let's tie that into our previous segment in terms of this lady who talked about she does everything.
Mhm.
Do you think then that she's doing everything according to what the man wants or according to what she thinks he should want?
Well, woman makes a mistake all the time because woman always think I do this and he wants this and I do that. and he would. But here's the key: you doing things for him all the time, or majority of women. That's what I think. I think that's exactly what they do. They say they follow, but the key, everything has timing,
Mm.
and timing is so important because you could cook the greatest pot of food that you know he likes, but no good if he coming home 12 o'clock at night to eat it because
Mm-hmm.
he gonna eat somewhere else before he come. So timing has right.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sense you give me sex when you think I want it. You have to learn to build the environment. That's your job.
Okay, timing.
Hmm.
How give us a tip on how a woman could master synchronizing her time with the needs of her man. What are some of the things that will help her to be more conscious and also to really tap into meeting her man's need in a timely manner that
Okay.
coincides with where he's at?
Well, well, well. Let's go to the one that people have trouble with,
Mm-hmm.
the sex. Let's go right there. That's what that's what the all this trouble is about. You want to give me. I normally have sex with you. Let's say 10 o'clock at night when we go to bed. But if you see me come home irate and upset,
Mm-hmm.
you know at 10 o'clock on whatever you how you I just using 10 o'clock as you know if I irate and I go to bed with you and you just it ain't gonna be all it gonna be is sex. It's not gonna be romance. It's not gonna be the whole thing. You in your mind feels that I all I want is sex.
Mm-hmm.
And so you lay there like a dead duck. Just say, okay, take it. No, no, no. That's not gonna work with my being frustrated. So you has now figured out how I gonna work this with his attitude, with his his mental at this moment. So what you have to do, you have to say to him, honey, touch him, see how his mood's at. Because if you try to force this in his at this time, because you know this, it wouldn't work well.
Okay.
See, for a woman, watch now, all they see, well, I gave him what he wanted. This is on I give him. See, and you say, I done it all. I give it him, I give it him. No, no. He might didn't want it that way. He might didn't want it at that moment. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it has to be build the environment first, find out what his day like, what he's going through, honey, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And this is where women make a mistake because you feel now, well, I gave him sex when he wanted. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that's not true in his eyes because he's still gonna complain about it. Because uh what good are you going to bed and having what they call something I could buy on the street, bam bam. You know, it's quick fixing it. No, the whole man and the whole woman has to be experiment, has to be a part of the experiment. Everybody has to be, both of you have to be part of the experiment. You It's like everything in life with a beat. You have a beat going on. It's answer and call. That's what sex basically is, answer and call. If your woman or your man is not answering your call, it is not romance, it is just sex. And
Okay.
you, I'm on there now. And sex don't really hold a relationship.
Yeah,
Sex,
it's intimacy.
yeah,
That intimacy is the glue.
right.
And so
We do too much.
I
All we doing is having sex.
appreciate
Mhm,
all that you have shared with us this
mhm,
morning, Tony.
mhm,
And in a nutshell, what I gather is that the male's mindset
mhm.
is that it is the woman's responsibility to create the environment that will keep the relationship spicy and hot and enjoyable.
My mind will stay there. My
Yeah.
mind will always think. See,
Okay.
walking to work, going to
Mhm.
work. I thinking about you because you
Yeah.
got my mindset. All right, that's what
All
I mean.
right. So
Mhm,
here we have now the mindset sandwich,
mhm,
mind, body, spirit. Tony says you need to create the environment. You need to tap into his psyche,
mhm.
be sensitive, be concerned about how his day went. Just simply make it about him. You know, it could be about you. I think we as women need to learn how to not make it about ourselves, but make the man the center. Because, I mean, we grew up around the same era where the man was always the king of the home, king
It
of the,
worked though.
and it worked very well.
All right,
All the children knew daddy's
is the
needs
man?
were the priority. Of course, he was the homemaker, and the women of today will say, well, I go out and work too. Let's not get in an arm wrestling match about how much you do and how much I do. Let's not focus on what's not being done. Let's encourage our men to be strong but also to be gentle. And what they meet in the home environment will determine whether what Tony described as change their clothes and dart back out to the bar, or whether he's going to want to, after you've inquired about how his day went and you have somehow set him in the mindset or recharged him to know that you're home. You know that saying you see on the television all the time, honey, I'm home.
Yeah.
So let's either meet each other with a warm welcome, a greet, and try and downsize the level of stress that they have and then build back up again. Remember, we create our own reality, even in our relationships.
So, folks, our time is gone. Another day, another show, and we will do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay, so
Mel and Tony,
mhm.
7:15. Mel and Tony under the tree chat. That's where we
Morning
meet.
boost.
Good morning, please. To uplift, to motivate, to inspire. We want you to have a very, very, very good weekend and enjoy. Remember, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Mel,
Yes, and so remember your manwich and your patty. Get those constructions going, keep it going. Sometimes keep it fresh, keep it replenished, but keep doing it. Every day is a new day, and it begins with your mindset. Have a wonderful weekend and see you
enjoy.